Good morning, all. Able to hear me?
Yes, Naveen.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for the confirmation. Okay. Okay. So yesterday we were discussing about like the installation part, which version you need to install or take the server access. Okay. Once if you install, for example, if you install the server in your system, just I'm going giving a glance. Just so what you need to do is to start that server. Okay, whenever we install SAP in our system, then two icons will be displayed. One is we call it as an SAP management console icon and SAP logon icon. Okay, this is nothing but SAP application log icon. Okay, so in all programs, if you click on all programs, okay, so here you can find SAP management console, SAP management console. So we need to double click on that. Then there is server, there is total 10 to 12 activities button will be updated. So by default it would be in gray color. By default it will be in gray color if it is switched off. Once it is server is off, then it will show in all the 12 to 14 activities, it will show in gray color. Okay, I don't have that installation one. That's the reason I'm just explaining orally. So what we need to do is there is in the left hand side, extreme left hand side, we will have a start button. We will have a start button. So we need to click on start button and we need to press refresh button from our keyboard. So what happens is each and every activity will be from gray to it will convert into yellow, and after some time it will turn into green color. Clear? First, initially when server is off, then all the activity buttons around 10 to 12 list will be there. All the things will be in gray color, which means by looking that gray color we can understand that the server is in off. Clear? So once if you click on start button or run button, clear, then if you press refresh, it will take 2 to 3 minutes to convert from gray to yellow, and another 2 to 3 minutes from convert from yellow to green color. Yellow to green color. So if all the activities are turns into green color, then what does it mean? The server is ready. The server is ready. Okay, before server is not ready, you're not supposed to enter into SAP login. We can't enter without server. So once the server is ready, means everything, all activities are turns into green color, then we need to go to this SAP login will be installed on your desktop like this. Okay, so we need to same double click. We need to click on double click. One second. Okay, double click, and the next it will be used, then it will be open a launchpad. Normally whenever we install server in our system, then for example, so here they will give user ID and password. Again, we will discuss what is 800 client. We know that. What is 800 client? 800 client will be for training purpose. Clear? This complete 800 series is for, so wherever, whether you installed or whether you take a remote access, then normally they will give it as an 800 access, 800 client access. So now again, if you install, then user ID would be SAP user. That's a standard SAP user, and password would be 12345 or India @123. Clear? SAP user or India @123, or password would be 1235456. So anyone. So normally your basis consultant, after installation, your basis consultant will give you what is user ID and password. Clear? We can't change that password here, and we can use that user ID only. But if you take a remote access, so you don't require to start and stop the server. You don't require to start and stop the server, because it will be 24/7. Remote server will be in on. It will be in start position only. So what is the thing we need to do? We need to just start the application. We need to click on application, and we can give the whenever we take a remote access, he will give one user ID and one password, and we can change that password. So you need not to, we need not to start the server. And same time again, whenever we, after completion of our work, if you have installed the server in our system, then as I said that after completion, everything will be in green color, right? All the activities will be green color. So we are not supposed to shut down directly the system. So one or two times or first time itself, if you shut down directly, if the server is in green color, server is running and you have shut down your system, then what happens is, so there is a 90% possibility that there is a chance of crashing of your server. Your server may crash. So again, next day when you want to, when you're trying to start the server, then 100% it's not possible if it is crashed. Then what you need to do, we need to go to again to the basis consultant. We need to install the server in our system. The server in our system. Clear? Okay, but whereas whenever we take the remote server access, it's not required to start the server, because the server will be remotely maintained by your basis consultant from wherever you took, right? And they will give some user ID and password, and we can change that password according to our requirement. So that is the two things difference between your installation, if you install server in your system, or if you take a remote server access. So the space will not be occupied in our system if we are taking remote server access. Okay, directly this login will be launchpad, login will be there. So next. Okay, so in practice environment, as I mentioned, in practice environment, we will have, say in real time, we will have a 3 different servers or more than that also. But in this particular training environment, we will have, as I said, that there in real time, we will have a development server, quality server, and production server. Correct? But in practice environment, we don't have 3 servers or different clients. We will have one server and one client only. In training environment, one server. So in this server only, in this particular server only, we are going to do configuration, we are going to do testing, okay, and we are going to do end user activities, everything. So once we, at the time of configuration, we will consider this server as a development server. When we will do the testing, we will consider it as a quality server. When we do the end user activities, then we will consider it as a production server. Okay, but in real time, your development server would be something different, your quality server would be something different, and your production server will be something different. And each server will have one client or number of clients in each server. But here we don't have number of servers, we will have only one server, and we will have only one client, that is 800 client. That's the reason whenever in interview, never ever say that I have worked under any 8 series client number. So they will understand that, okay, probably these people are from, they don't have a real-time experience. So they have a training part, training knowledge. Clear? So that's the reason, don't use 800 series at all. And we know that what are the others? 000, don't use it. 001, don't use it. 066, don't use it. Apart from this, for anything you can use it. 100, 110, 120, 130. Anything we can use it. So any questions still here?
Naveen, rest everything is okay. I just to confirm, you got joined late. So where will the color change from yellow to green, and to where will it do it?
See, whenever we install in our system, there will be a server. Okay, as I mentioned here, whenever you install a server, so 2 icons will be installed in your system. Okay, you are able to see, right? Once the server is installed, then here you will find SAP management console icon. SAP management console icon. This is nothing but, if you click on this, the server list will appear here. Whatever server you installed, SAP server, that will be shown, and there would be number of activities. To start the server, there would be around 12 to 15 activities. Even I'm not sure. 12 to 15 minimum 12 will be their activities. 12 to 15 activities will be there. So initially that will be in gray color. That will be in gray color. Gray in the sense the server is off, right? Now we need to click on, there is an option called run. we need to click on run button to start the server. So whenever we click on run button, and after that we need to press refresh button. So what happens is, whatever list activities are in gray color, slowly that will be turned into yellow color. And after that, from yellow to that will turn into green color. So if all the activities turns into green color, then what does it indicates is the server is ready to use. The server is ready to use. So total 12 to 15 activities must and should that turn into green color. In the same way, whenever you are shut down the system, whenever you're done with your practice, in the same way, you need to stop the server. There is an option called run, and after that, you will find one more option called stop. So if you click on stop, so all the activities are in green color, slowly that turns into yellow color. From yellow color to all the activities will be turns into gray color. So once everything, all the activities are in gray color, which means that, which indicates that your server is ready to, it's done, it's shut down. The server is shut down. So now you can shut down your system. If the server is in your system, if you take a remote access, again, I'm reiterating, if you take a remote access, then it's not required to start and stop. Directly, you can click on SAP application button. That's it. SAP login button, launchpad. Okay. Any questions here? Any questions?
Yeah, Naveen, how can we know which version of ECC we are using?
Yeah, I'll show you that in the next thing. I'll show you where we can find which version we are working and all those stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. That's it. And same time, user ID. Whenever we are giving a user ID in real time or in practice environment, clear? It's a case insensitive user ID. Either you can give uppercase or a lowercase. It's a case insensitive, right? And maximum length would be 12 characters. Your user ID length would be maximum of 12 characters without spaces. So that could be, you can give like uppercase or lowercase. Case insensitive user ID would be case insensitive. If I press enter, it will be automatically, if I gives in lowercase, automatically it will convert into uppercase. It will take into uppercase. But when it comes to password, as you know, that same, you're like your Google password something. So case sensitive, minimum 8 characters. Case sensitive in the sense, same thing. You should give in real time. Again, I'm telling you, in real time, one uppercase, if possible, one special character, and lower cases. So minimum it should be 8 characters, inclusive of your special character, and maximum 56 characters we can give. Your password will be minimum of 8 characters and maximum of 56 characters in real time. Clear? So same like your Google, Gmail or whatever you will give, in the same thing we will give here. So minimum should be 8 characters and maximum of password will be, you can give 56 characters. You want to waste our time, then we can give as length as possible. Okay. So this is about your user ID and password. So once we enter into the application, sorry. Okay. So this is your application screen. This is your SAP application screen. Okay. So here it's just like your MS Office or Windows screens only. It's a similar, SAP is very much similar to your what we call Microsoft Office tools, whatever tools are there, MS Word, Excel. In the same way, it looks like in the same way. Few things are extra, that's it. So here, first one, we will call it as a menu bar. Okay, what we call it as a menu bar. Menu bar is nothing but this one, the top right side, menu, edit, right? In MS Office, we call them as in ribbons, but earlier versions, we used to call them as a menu bars. So menu, edit, this is complete screen on the top, whatever you see till help, clear? So this is considered as a menu bar, right? Same you will have in your MS Office also. And next one, we have a SAP standard toolbar. So this is whatever safe, right? I'll explain each and everything here. Each and everything I'll explain. This is considered as an SAP standard toolbar. SAP standard toolbar. Okay. And next one, we have a title bar. You can see here, this is called title bar. So I drag it, MS Office also, your Word will have a title bar, right? Toolbar you will have. Okay, this is called title bar. SAP Easy Access. What is SAP Easy Access? We'll discuss. Okay, and next one, application toolbar. SAP, this is called SAP application toolbar. I'll explain what is the difference between this and this. Standard toolbar, application toolbar. Okay, then next we have SAP status bar. So on the bottom, you will have SAP status bar. SAP status bar. And the next status node, let me show you that. See here. This is called SAP see. Okay, so this is called, no, see here, this is called status bar, same like your Windows status bar, and this is called SAP node. Okay, what do you mean by SAP node? Here it will show clearly. If you click on here, see it here, it will show which system you are working, which client you are working, who is the user working, what is the program name you are working, what is the transaction code you are working, what is the response time. Means once if you click on your application to open, how much time it is taking, and all those stuff will be mentioned in this particular node. We call it as an, instead of step, we call it as a node. Clear? And same time it will show what is the user, which server you are working. You are working on SAP server. Clear? So all the details it will be shown here. So this particular left hand side, it will show it as a status bar. Okay, and after that, on the right hand side, extreme right hand side, we call it as a SAP node. So till here it is a common in your MS Office and as well as SAP. But what are the additional features we have, additional screens we have, additional steps we have in the sense? So this is the one, command field. So this particular extreme left hand side, whatever we have, this particular box, we call it as a command field. Command field. What do you mean by command field? So for example, for each transaction, we call in SAP, we will call it as a transaction or transaction code. Means if any activity we want to do, any step we want to do, that particular step we call it as a transaction. Or you want to open any application, clear? That application means any transaction, posting of invoice, one transaction we will have, right? Payment, one transaction, right? Incoming payment, one transaction. Posting a credit memo, one transaction. Clear? For each transaction, we can call them as an application also. Okay, we have commands, we have few commands, few technical commands are there across the globe. Those are the standard commands across the globe, wherever, whether you are using training server or a real-time server or a remote access server, the transaction, whatever commands are there, across the globe, across all modules of SAP would be common. Means whatever commands we are using in training versions, were they useful in real time? Yes, absolutely. Whatever we are going to use in real time, that only we are going to use in your practice environment also, training environment also. Clear? And those commands are known as a transaction codes. Those commands are known as transaction codes. Means whatever commands to enter into one application to another application, one transaction to another transaction. So SAP has provided standard codes. Okay, and that codes we call it as a transaction codes, right? Both consultant, we have some our own transaction codes, right? And end user will have some transaction codes. So we need to remember this particular transaction codes, at least a few. I'll at the time of explanation, which transaction codes we need to remember, which transaction codes we need to remember. Okay, so which by default SAP delivers. Those T codes, we use the term called T codes. T stands for transaction codes. Okay, we need to mention in the command field. For example, here this is called command field. Okay, I want to post one particular application, so I want to post one invoice. Then I'll write it as just don't remember now, FB60. What is this? This is nothing but FB60 is a posting out, incoming invoice posting transaction code. This is a code. Okay, if I press enter, this is command field where we need to give the command. Okay, or you can call this as a transaction field, and in this we need to give transaction code. So initially don't remember this, but still I'm saying what we can give in this. So if you press enter, then it will ask for company code. I'm not sure. Because it's a new server of mine. See here. So this is one application, enter vendor invoice. This is one application, one transaction, right? So here you can view here, if you click which transaction code you are in. See here, total system. So here we are in FB60. So directly you can put here so that you can view which transaction you are working. Clear? That we can show here. Okay. So this is called command field where we can give the transaction codes, right? Next one. And how many transaction codes SAP has delivered? In SAP, there are more than 65,000 transaction codes across all the modules, not only FICO, across all the modules, we have more than 65,000 transaction codes. So that would be MM, SD, HR, right? Other application, logistics, right? So we have total SAP delivered more than 65,000 transaction codes. But when it comes to FI module only, we have more than 1800 transaction codes. More than finance, in the sense it could be again other submodules of other modules of finance, right? Like FICA and other modules also. So we have 1800 transaction codes. So in this particular codes, are we going to use 1800 transaction codes? No, absolutely not. Clear? So, but in finance related modules, we have total 1800 transaction codes, more than 1800 transaction codes. Do we need to remember these things? No, absolutely not. For your information, I'm giving this. Clear? Any questions? Any questions?
No, Navin.
So, but one beauty is, as I said, that this is GUI version. Actually, I'll just update you one more thing. So in the latest version in the sense, see, latest version in the sense, what is the latest version of SAP now? We know that we have SAP ECC, correct? And what is the other version we have? SAP S4 HANA, correct? So here SAP, what is SAP ECC? It will work under third-party databases. Third-party database, correct? We already discussed. And when it comes to S4 HANA, we have own database. What is the database?
HANA database.
HANA database. Okay. Here we have the application, we call it as a GUI application. This is nothing but your GUI. This is nothing but your GUI. SAP icon is nothing but your GUI icon. What is GUI? Graphical user interface. Okay. ECC will comes with only GUI, graphical user interface. Means you can click it and you can type transaction. But when it comes to S4 HANA, S4 HANA will comes with GUI and as well as the latest technology, the latest one, we call it as a Fiori apps. Fiori apps. So most of the automation is possible in SAP because of this Fiori apps. What do you mean by Fiori apps? In the sense, as already said, in GUI version, if you want to enter into one application, So we can go into, we know that how we if I want to go, how I came to this application, I have used transaction code, correct? If I want to use one more, this one, for example, I want to use one more transaction. By default, it will come, starting would be SAP Easy Access, right? I want to go with outgoing payment F-07. So without giving transaction code, or without, I'll tell you what do you mean by navigation path. So without giving these transaction codes, we can't go to this particular application screen. Clear? But here, this is in, if we are working on GUI, then we need to remember at least few transactions we need to remember. But when it comes to Fiori apps, again, it's end user level. Okay. If any organization end user level organization enters into Fiori apps, right? So in Fiori apps, we don't require any command fields to remember. Clear? Same, for example, in Amazon is there, right? If you have Amazon, what you will do, you will search for example, product. You want to buy some product, right? So what you will do, in search bar, you will give the product name, correct? And it will give you the list of products along with the vendor details, right? Yes or no? In the same way, Fiori apps, you no need to remember. You no need to remember the transaction codes. You no need to remember the transaction codes. For example, here, what is this? Post outgoing payments. So in Fiori apps, you don't require to remember the transaction codes. Just what is the activity you want to do, right? In search bar, outgoing payment. If you type it, the end user types it, then automatically it will open the screen, outgoing payment screen. So user is not required to remember transaction codes directly. It's a tile based. Fiori app is a tile based. Clear? Any questions here? But we can't see that Fiori apps. At least I'll give you the screenshots at the end when we start our SAP S4 HANA. I'll show you how the application look like. What do you mean by a Fiori apps? How, at least screens, I'll show you that. Any questions here? If you don't, right? So that is the difference. So here again, why I am saying is, and the people who are working as an end users, so why threat after some time, in the sense, if any organization went into automation part, so probably even after automation also, they may go with, instead of GUI, they may go with Fiori apps, end user level. Okay, if they go with end user Fiori apps, then instead of like using 2 people, see, earlier they were using 10 people. After automation, they required only 2 people. Okay, punching and all. So if they entered into Fiori apps, right, they won't require 2 people, they require only 1 person. So there is a cut short of 9 people. So at same 27, 28, there would be lot of pressure, lot of this thing. End user work will comes to end almost in almost all the organization. Clear? Wherever the SAP is using, or any other apps also, ERP also, the same problem. Everyone are going for automation part. So this is possible with the Fiori apps. Clear?
And Naveen, this Fury app is, I think we can use from mobile also. I got
Correct, for approvals.
approvals. Okay.
Yeah, that is one advantage, in the sense, for example, in GUI, we can use either desktop or a laptop. That's it, with good network. But Fiori apps, what is the thing is, for example, if I have done, I'm in office, I have done a payment, I have run the payment. Okay, but whoever need to approve the next level, my manager or whoever need to approve, he was not in India. Okay, and he was traveling, right? And he is in flight, for example. And now almost all the airways are giving what we call WAN connection, in wide area network connection, in a flight also, right? We need to connect that flight and I need to approve on an emergency basis. My manager need to approve on emergency basis, right? So he can open a Fiori apps in his mobile or tab, whatever it is. He don't have a laptop or desktop at his place now. So he can open mobile, right? And in that the workflow will trigger in his system, in his mobile. So from there itself, he can approve or deny that request. So earlier that was not possible. But now the approval part and rejection part or whatever it is there, instead of posting and this remaining activities, we can do through mobile. Right? When the Fiori apps are introduced 2015 onwards, so SAP, Apple become the partner of SAP. Apple and SAP are the partners now for some specifications. So that's the reason complete Apple, whatever developmentation it is going to take, it has work under background SAP only. Fiori apps only, majority. Clear? This is about your Fiori apps. If you don't require to remember as of now at this particular moment, but definitely we will see in future how the Fiori apps look like. What is the difference between Fiori apps and a GUI? But again, whatever maybe comes into automation or whatever it is, as a consultant, do we have any threat? No, absolutely not. Whatever things are going to be improved in SAP, so that would be increases the lifespan of consultant in the that particular industry. More requirements will come into the picture, more jobs will come into the picture. Whatever SAP roadmap, again I'm telling you, SAP roadmap is crystal clear up to 2040. Earlier it was 2028 only. In the last session, last 15 days back, which I have attended a webinar, they have a crystal clear roadmap till 2040. What are the features need to be added? What are the things need to be added? What are the technologies need to be added? They have a crystal clear roadmap till 2040. So what does it mean 2040? If I am having a skill, if I'm having at least 30-40% skill set, that is enough to survive in SAP environment. So till 2040, and again from that also it will continue. It will continue, but it won't come back again. Majority people, the people who doesn't, so the people who work on a programming language kind of thing, see what they will say is there will be after 2000. Even I was listening from long back. They were saying that 2020 the ERP era will comes to close. I was hearing from a lot of programming people that ERP era is going to close by 2020, but actual peak has taken from 2020 onwards. Clear? People will say that, okay, you don't have life after 2040 or something else. It's not like that. Clear? This will be there as long as possible, as long as we survive, next generation survives, it will be there. Because it's in ERP. Companies are spending a lot of amounts on this particular ERP. So how they will change it? Because SAP is not stopping their whatever works over there itself. Again, I'm saying they have a crystal clear roadmap. What are the features? How it need to be give advantage to the outside organizations. That is only one motive. Every time it is coming up with new version, new technology, new features. So again, there would be one more question. Okay, I am working, and how would I know the new feature? Do I need to learn again? No, absolutely not. Once you join in a new organization, if any new feature is added, if anything is introduced, then definitely if you are in that particular project, definitely they will update you. This is the particular feature as added and you need to work on this, and some sort of training material, as I said that, right? Some sort of training materials will be given to you. And in SAP environment, we will have a breathing time for each and everything. Okay, this is about your Fiori apps. Again, I'm telling you, this automation will affect only the end user level, not at a consulting level. If someone is losing his job or their jobs in the sense, trust me, that would be only the skill set problem. If they don't have a skill set, again, I'm telling you, at least 35-40% skill set you are having, that is enough to survive here. But if you don't have that also, you came up, you joined the organization with any backdoor entry or any what we call that, I don't remember the terminology, right? If you are entering with some other technology you have entered, and you don't have a SAP knowledge at all, at least 5 to 10%, then the survival would be the problem, or else it will not be a problem here. Okay, so this is a Fiori apps command field. So total overall SAP, if I take a GUI thing, then we have a more than 65,000 transactions across all the modules, clear. And next one, SAP navigation menu. I'll tell you what is SAP navigation menu. Okay, so here, for example, I want to enter into, one second. So this is SAP menu. You can see here. We have two types of screens. One is end user screen, another one is consultant screen. So initially, whenever in real time environment or whatever it is, whenever you are working under ECC version, whenever you are working under ECC GUI version, whenever we log on to SAP application, then it will show you SAP Easy Access screen. So the first screen, whatever it shows, that is nothing but SAP end user screen. Whenever you find SAP Easy Access, then it means that it's an end user's screen. Clear? So here, if I want, end user wants, for example, every end user working into AP, accounts payable process, or accounts receivable process, or GL process. Clear? So either they can go with the transaction code to that particular application. For example, as I said, that FB60 is the transaction code. Directly they can go with FB60 transaction code. But apart from that, we have one more option. We can go with the navigation. Navigation in the sense, for example, see, this is SAP menu. I'm just showing you, don't remember, but when we start our real-time practice, I'll give you each and every step. Okay, SAP menu and accounting. So here our module is financial accounting. So financial accounting. Okay. So here general, for example, accounts payable. So document entry. Okay. Document entry. So here it is invoice. So if I say invoice, see here, directly I'm coming into FB60 screen. Understood? So directly you can type FB60 in command field, or you can come with navigation. We call it as a navigation. So how we navigated? It was first, initially we are in SAP menu, accounting, financial accounting, accounts payable, document entry, invoice. So this is called navigation. Clear? Two ways we can enter in GUI screen. One is with the command field, or we can come up with navigation. So both the ways we will see in our practice part. Even in consulting screen also, we have both the things, navigation and as well as a transaction code. So in each and every step, I'll show you navigation thoroughly and transaction code along with that. Okay. So at least for initial sessions. This is called navigation menu, SAP menu, whatever we call it as an, this is called navigation menu. Okay. And next one, SAP user defined menu. SAP user defined menu. Okay. That, what do you mean by SAP user defined menu? In the sense, this is a SAP standard menu. This is SAP standard menu. Across the globe, it will be the same, right? So in SAP menu, what SAP provides, we can't delete it. We can't move. If I want to move, pull message from here to top. So we can't do that. We can't delete it. We can't edit it. It's a standard. Okay, we can just click on this. That's it. We can enter into the application. But okay, this is standard SAP. Okay, if I want, for example, I want financial services to be in the last. No, I can't move it. I can't move it. Okay, but here again, there are total 1800 transaction codes are there in SAP, correct? So do I need to remember all? No, but as a AP, for example, I'm working for accounts payable process, which is more popular process in SAP end user side, right? SAP, I'm working on AP side, SAP AP side. So here in AP also we have a number of almost all, for example, if I say almost all 300 transaction codes are there in different levels, more than 300 transaction codes. So do I need to remember all the 300 transaction codes? Do I work every day all the 300 transaction codes? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I may work hardly 10 transactions in every day. 10 transactions every day. Clear? So for example, we need to create, SAP provides, we can create our own SAP menu. Own SAP menu. So this is standard menu. And as a user, as an end user, we can create our own menu. That is called user defined menu. That is called user defined menu. Clear? So how we can add them? So how to create folders in favorite menu? So this is called favorites. This is called, so here you can make, you can either take this into bottom or on the top. I'll show you how to make this. So here, put the cursor on favorites. Put the cursor on favorites. So I want to create one transaction code. For example, put the cursor on favorites. Select insert option from favorites menu. So here you will have favorites menu, right? Favorites menu. So here insert folder or insert a transaction. So here you can see insert folder from option from favorites menu. So here favorites, insert folder. So what is the folder name you want to give, right? What is the folder name you want to give? For example, I'm giving it as a transaction entry. Okay. See here, under favorites, we have created transaction entry. Okay, this is next one. Place a cursor on favorites. Okay. So here, instead of going menu bar, so put the cursor on favorites and right click from your mouse with your mouse. And again, the same options will be shown. So here again, if you can get insert folder. So I would give it as an report transactions. Report transactions. So why it's a favorite things is in the sense, see, as I said that we have a number of transaction codes and we are not going to remember those transaction codes. So we are creating our own menu here, our own menu. Instead of going navigation, we are going to, instead of writing in our notebook or something, so we are going to create our own favorite. It is for end user. Again, I'm telling you, it's not for consultant. So this is, we are going to create our own menu, end user menu. So whatever transactions we frequently use, that we will place under favorites. Okay. So after, this is one way. And next one, creation of subfolders. So under folders, we can create subfolders like, so in transaction entry, so place the cursor on the folder, right? So just instead of going menu, so you can create here as a insert folder. So this is called subfolder under. So I'll write it as a GL postings. See, this is a one folder. This is one folder, user defined folders, and under transaction entry, we have one more folder called GL postings. GL postings. Clear? The same thing what I have explained here also in the same way I'm explaining. Next one, insert or add transactions in favorites. Now I would like to add one transaction, as I said, that application which takes us to application. So again, same thing, right click, insert transaction code. So here FB, which I'm going to use regularly, FB50. This is a transaction code. I'm inserting FB50. So click on FB50. See, I said only FB50. Automatically, SAP standard is having FB50 transaction code. It took the description. Clear? Okay. Is this clear? So how to insert a folder, how to insert a subfolders? See, this is how to insert a folder. So two ways we can insert. Again, I am reiterating. Once favorite, go to favorites menu, and here you will have all the options, insert folder. Or what is the other way we can have? Put the cursor on favorites, right click and insert folder, right? And how to insert a subfolder? Same thing, put the cursor, right click and insert folder. And whenever we want to enter a transaction, select the folder. Okay, select the folder and insert transactions. So here, one more thing, as I said that in user defined menu, we can modify, we can delete, we can move. So here I want first transaction entry on the top and after that report entry. So next I can do this. Sorry. See here. Or I can do like this. Report transaction is first. I'll go with the drag and drop. That's it. Transaction entry showing first, report entry. But here in accounting, if you want to move something, you can't move it. And if you want to delete it, this particular, no, it will have only one option called open folder. Clear? Only open folder we have. That's it. But when it comes to favorites, if you right click, you have options, open folder. In standard SAP menu, you will have only SAP open folder, but here you can change favorites, you can delete favorites, you can insert folders, you can insert transactions, and any other objects you want to add, you can do it. Clear? In the same way, this one. So we can move it, whatever first you want to view in your favorites, right? So you want to work on your transactions entry, then directly will select this, you will select this, and directly if you double click on this, it will take you to this particular screen. You need not to remember. Clear? Any questions? Any questions here?
This one is for the end user point of view, right?
End user point of view, exactly. So just I'm just showing, because in testing also we use SAP end user screen. Okay. This is not it's not a consultant screen, but why we need to remember all those stuff? Can you explain? Okay, even though we are doing testing, but why we need to remember all those stuff? Why we need to do this kind of things?
We want to train the end user, no?
Exactly, that is the main motive. As a consultant, after implementation, okay, if CTMs are not there, they are not used to it, then, because even CTMs will work only directly with the transaction codes. But as a consultant, you got an opportunity to train the end users. Then we need to do at least a few things. At least out of 100%, at least 20% things we need to train them. The remaining 80%, the CTMs will take care. But at least 20% of the thing, the technical part, we need to train them. How to create a folder, how to create subfolders, how to create a transaction codes and all those stuff. Clear? 80% business process part, CTMs will take place. But at least this is the new to them. So we need to explain them. So for that particular reason, we need to work on this. even though it's an end user screen. We need to explain them that as soon as this is particular, we don't require to explain them because they will have only access to this particular screen. Okay, this particular screen, end user will have access. So SAP easy access is nothing but end user access screen. Is that clear? Any questions? Any questions?
No, Navin.
Okay,
So one point.
please.
According to submodels, no, for example, AP. So just only AP related means AP related knowledge we have to train them, give them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. See, we never know.
Submodel only.
Yeah, submodules only. If you are giving a departmental training kind, SAP AP module people, then you will do only those kind of transaction related transactions only. Because for them, AR and GL is not required. But as a consultant, we need to have a knowledge on them. Not end to end, at least the basic knowledge. Because we are going to configure the screens, right? We need to know how the output need to be for end user. That we need to have. So that's the reason this particular course is designed like this. We are going to work this particular course. We are going to work consultant activities . 100% we are going to do this in this particular course, and end user activities, month-end activities, and all those stuff we are going to see here. What my end user will do, at least 80%, both in in ECC version and as well HANA version. Here also, but here it will not be much change. ECC and HANA version, both the versions we are going to see. Consulting activities, complete configuration and everything clear. End-to-end configuration we are going to see, in with integrations also. Consulting activity, we are going to see the integration with other FICO module with other modules. Clear? And not only with other modules, internal submodules, like in FI module. In FI module, we have a submodules. In FI, we have a different modules. For example, after configuration, we have a GL module, basic module. This is GL module. Okay. AP module, AR module, right? Asset accounting module, right? Tax module, right? Tax module. Next one, banking module. So I'm just taking this example. So here integrations we need to do in this is FI module. These are sub modules, right? These are sub modules. So we need to integrate. We need to give the link, right? So how it will go? Whatever transactions we are going to do in this sub modules, that will be integrated to GL module. That will be integrated to GL module, and all the reports will be generated at whatever reports we can generate in all the modules, but we will consolidate at GL module and we will send it to FI module. Clear? So each module, sub modules also, we will see how to integrate GL module with AP module. AP with AR will be GL linked to GL module. AP will link it to GL module. A will be linked to GL module. Tax module will be linked to GL module. Banking module will be linked to GL module. So how we are going to integrate other sub modules to GL module? Clear? So the integration not only we will see with FICO module with external modules, right? Within that also, the sub modules also, we are going to see the integration part. Is this clear? Any questions? Any questions here?
No, no.
Yeah. Okay, this is about, so Monday we will see again our, as again I'm reiterating, our classes would be, this is a weekday batch. So Monday onwards we will start up. If at all anyone wants to take the server access or installation part, you can start taking from Monday onwards. So till Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, I'll take the sessions only the introduction of screens, that each and every screen. Okay, complete screens I will introduce you people, what is each field we call it as, and everything. And after that we will start up with, so here we will enter into a general settings. There is a concept called general settings here. Clear? And from here the actual practical part is going to start. Till that I'll introduce, the 2 days it will take. 2 days it will take to have complete introduction of each and every screen, each and every screen, what we call each and every field. Because again I am reiterating, this is for which purpose? This is, we need to explain the end user. Clear? So for that particular purpose we need to have a knowledge on this. It's a mandatory, it's a mandatory to have a knowledge. Majority people as a consultant, okay, I have taken a consulting training from outside, clear, but I know how to configure, but I don't know what we call, which is the menu bar, what is the standard toolbar, what is SAP special toolbar. Okay, now what do you mean by navigation menu? Then how can the consultant will sorry, the end user will ask you number of questions on that, because he's new to application. So if we are not able in a position to answer them, then in the first instant itself we will flop, even though we are having a good end-to-end knowledge. Because majority consultant will have an issue with this, issues with the, that's the reason I'm spending a lot of time on this particular introduction only, the screen introduction only. Normally it's not required, seriously speaking. But why? Because majority clients, majority end user, departmental experts are going to ask, because till that they used to work on a different what we call ERP version. They used to work on a different ERP versions. Clear? So whenever they'll start something, the older, whatever existing they were using, that comes into picture in their brain first, and after that SAP. So as a consultant, our role would be, we need to make more familiar of this particular screens. We need to explain each and every step to them. Clear? The same way what we are doing right now. Okay, so actually the real work will start from general settings onwards. Country setting, how to set a calendar, how to set a factory calendar, and all those stuff, how to set a currencies. Clear? So after that we will pitch into the organization structure. After setting of a calendar, then we will start enterprise structure. Again, for enterprise structure also, not directly I will go with a defined company. I'll take one organization structure, right? Clear? And I'll explain what do you mean by an operating concern, what do you mean by controlling area, what do you mean by company code, what do you mean by credit controlling area, what do you mean by business area. So everything step by step I'll explain. Step by step we'll have a explanation, and I'll give you the notes for that, right? When we are going to use operating concern, when we are going to use a controlling area, what do you mean by company, whether company is a mandatory or not, company codes, what do you mean by company codes, from where the books of accounts will maintain, whether it's a company level or a company code level. Clear? All those stuff means, again I'm reiterating, we are in this particular thing, we are going to work as a consultant. Next one, we are going to work as a end user, and we are going to work as an academic accountant. Means accounting knowledge, at least as I mentioned, 15 to 20% is mandatory. 15 to 20% is a mandatory thing. Hope you got my point. Yes, no?
Yes, yes.
So
Yes.
for example, I'll give you one, why accounting knowledge is required. Accounting knowledge, everybody knows what do you, we have already from main stream of accounting. What do you mean by an account? Okay, what do you mean by a debit and credit? People are not there in my previous accounting class. What do you mean by debit? What do you mean by credit? General.
Debit what comes in and credit what goes out.
May I know your name?
Hitesh.
Hitesh, you said, if I asked what is your, may I know your name? You said Hitesh, correct? But when I asked debit and credit, you are saying debit, what comes? That is a rule of debit, that is a rule of credit. But I'm asking, what is debit and what is credit? I didn't ask what is the rule of debit and credit.
Debit means loss, credit means gain.
Debit means loss. Again, you are saying the same thing. According to which rule it is debit means, I'm not asking the rules. What is debit and what is credit?
In SAP, it is called as
Not
debit
SAP.
for.
I'm asking normally account. Sorry? You
No,
said something. Sorry, I'm sorry.
No, I was talking in SAP T codes like debit 40 key and.
That is a different, right? First of all, I need to understand debit 40 in the sense why 40 debit, why 50 credit.
So it's a transaction that we have to.
No. What I'm asking is
What we have
before
to pay.
that, I should know what is debit. If I want to have a 40 or 50, clear. First of all, I should know what is a debit actually. What is the mean a term debit called? What is
Debit basically is like what we have to pay, and credit what we are going to receive.
no.
As per the double entry system, we should have two transactions, debit and credit.
Why debit and credit? Why its name doesn't debit and credit?
It's a transaction we have to enter if we are taking money or if we are giving money. So that transaction we have to enter.
Yeah, but I should know, right? Okay, the transaction need to be entered. But if I'm taking, then I need to debit. How I know it should be entered on the debit?
Yeah.
Correct. I'm asking the simple question.
Yeah.
What do you mean by an account?
If we are making a sales, then we have to give the money. So if we are purchasing, I want to say sorry.
Not
So
No,
that
it's a systematic manner of recording books.
Okay, perfect. Accounting. Then what do you account, right? What do you mean by accounting and accountancy then? I heard from people, even though I'm not from commerce, but I was hearing from
Accountancy recording transactions on a day-to-day basis.
that is called journal, I believe, correct?
Yeah, adding to that first point, I'm just elaborating.
Yeah,
Accounting.
I'll tell you, you have everything, but suppose in case people may ask you, because a layman, the people who are not belongs to accounting related, they know that we use the term called debit and credit, because if you go to a bank, they'll say that debit and credit, correct? In the passbook or statement, you will have a debit and credit. But the layman, the person who was not belongs to accounting, he will see that there is a term called debit and credit, and they ask you, like, what is this debit and credit? So which rule you will say? There are different rules of debit and credit. Somebody said just now, debit the receiver or something else, correct? So that is a rule of debit and credit. But first of all, I need to understand what exactly the debit. We know that, definitely. I'm telling you, the people who are there in this particular session, everyone knows what exactly the debit and credit. But when someone asks what is debit and credit, we will try to explain them the rules of debit and credit, but not debit and credit. Hope you got my point. We will try to explain. See, I'm a layman, as I said that. If you say that posting, journalizing and everything, then definitely I'll ask you, what do you mean by recording? Then again, you will start. Recording means if transaction enters, we will classify. And we need to, again, I'll ask, what do you mean by classification? Somebody said double entry. What do you mean by double entry? Debit and credit. Again, you will come up with debit and credit. Again, I'll ask, what is this? Why you are debiting it? How many rules we can explain that? Hope you got my point, right? The person
Yes.
who is
Yeah.
asking you, he's not asking the rule of debit and credit. He's not asking you the rules or what he's asking, just simple question. What is debit and credit? If you start explaining into a rules and everything, then almost all it will take from your intermediate 2 years plus graduation 3 years plus your master's 2 years. So if you want to explain them the rules and everything, it will take total 7 years of time to explain them. Hope you got. So those are the minute things. Again, same question. Everyone knows the balance sheet. Yeah. Balance sheet. Everybody knows. Why we'll call it as a balance sheet? that does contain at the end what it will happen, assets. One side we will take liabilities and other side we will take assets according to my
Assets.
academic knowledge, correct? And at the end, what it will happen? Does it have any balance or it will be equal?
Both should have a same balance.
Equal.
Same total,
Yeah.
not balanced. Balance is
Yeah.
nothing but if excess is there, then that we call it as in balance, correct? If surplus or whatever it is there, then that it's called balance. But in our that particular shoe, do we have any balance? Either on the liability side is more and asset is less, or asset is more and liabilities are there, then that difference we call it as a balance. But most 99%, whatever balance sheet we will do, correct? Does it have more assets, less liabilities, or less liabilities, more assets? No, right? It will be at the end, it will be equal to total. Am I correct or not?
Yes.
Yeah. See, in
Yes.
academic also, what we will try to do, both this at the end, after preparation of trading profit and loss account, we'll start preparation of balance sheet. So what would be our main motive in academic also? We will try to make equalize both your liabilities and assets. Correct? Then why we are calling that sheet as a balance sheet? Why can't we call it as a total sheet or equal sheet or assets and liability sheet? Why we are calling it as a balance sheet? Got my
Because
question?
we got to balance them, right? So
We won't
yeah.
balance, we will total it. We won't balance. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say. It automatically, once if you enter after trial balance and after adjustment, if you post everything into your, if you transfer everything into that particular statement and you will do the totals from assets, total from liabilities, it will show the same totals. Correct? Then why are we calling it as a balance sheet? And one more question before I'll answer everything. We will have a special accounting classes. See, again, I'm telling you why I'm taking accounting classes, in the sense, what are the things we missed to focus in our academics? I'm not saying all, but majority, our trainers or whoever are there, they won't say why and what. They will say that this has to be totaled. But why this has to be totaled? They won't say. Again, my question would be, see, we know that in balance sheet, what does it contains? The two things, two sides,
Asset and liability.
assets and liabilities. According to me, I know what does it mean, asset, properties, liabilities means what we owe to pay. Correct? So in my real time, what I'll see is my assets should be more. My assets should be more when compared to my liabilities. If liabilities are zero, then I'm more happy. And if my assets are more than my liabilities, then also I'm happy. But why we are making it equal? Assets and liabilities in our balance sheet.
To calculate the profit and loss.
Already we have done in our P&L account, right? After P&L account, we will do our balance sheet, right? So why we will try to make equal both? If it is not equal, also we'll try to
for ensuring like we are showing this for the tax purpose.
no, but still tax purpose, in the sense you are doing a fake accounting, right?
To ensure we are
Buffer we what
reporting
buffer we have,
everything
like
correct
what
or not.
Sorry, you
To
got
to
my
ensure
see
question.
what buffer we have.
Not buffer or something here. We don't have a buffer in our balance sheet. If buffer is there, then that is called it as a balance. We don't have any buffers in
No,
the
like
balance sheet statement.
retained earnings and all, retained earnings type.
Everything we will show in our balance sheet, right? Retained earnings is nothing but
Yeah.
our earnings only. That earnings
Yeah.
only, right? And if it is earning, then why you are showing on the liability side of balance sheet? Why can't it would be in asset?
Because
That is
it has to
liable
go to
to
the equity
the
share.
yeah, it is liable to the equity shareholders.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why we need to total it? Why we need to balance? Why we call it as a balance sheet? Why we will try to make your liabilities is equals to assets or assets equals to liabilities? Why?
It's a accounting principle that asset should equal to
No,
liabilities.
no, I'll explain these things. Again, I'm telling you, whether it's a principle or what, but there is a reason for that principle. According to which reason we are doing it. Okay, that part we are going to do in coming, once we start our practical part. Again, I'm telling you, as I said, that we are not only doing consulting role in this particular course, not only we will do the end user role, 100% consulting role, 80% end user role, and 20% academic accounting role. Academic accountant role in this is that is a mandatory to have a base knowledge to develop our application, to work on this SAP application. So that if I don't know what is debit and credit, what is account, clear, why double entry system, why something is debited, why something has been credited, right? We know that if somebody asks how many types of accounts in manual accounting, people will say that there are 3 types of accounts: personal, real, and nominal account, correct? And we will say what is the rule of personal: debit the receiver, credit the giver. Real account, debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Nominal account, debit all expenses, losses, and credit all incomes and gains. So we will say this, but this is called classical accounting, classical way of accounting. But do you know what is modern accounting rules? Does anyone know? Whatever terminology, again, there are not 3 types, there are 2 types of accounting: personal and impersonal. Impersonal account is nothing but, again, divided into 2, that is real and nominal. And how many types of persons in our personal accounts? So there is a question again. There are 3 types of persons: natural person, artificial person, and representative person. If you don't know the differentiation between these 3, then accounting would be more we will have a lot of suspenses. We need to have a keen knowledge on these basics. What do you mean by representative? What do you mean by artificial? What do you mean by natural? So these are classic way of division of accounting. But what is a modern? That we need to know. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Whatever things we missed or we forgot in our academic, whatever we did, that we are going, I don't know, see, maybe 90% people knows about it, everything, but still I will focus on those 10% who doesn't know this. Okay, if you people knows about in that particular course, don't feel it's a waste of time. Just consider it as a recap kind of thing and help me out if I'm missing something in this. Again, we are not going to cover 100% of your academic because it will take 7 years of time. So I'm going to cover only 20%, which is required when we reach to client place. It's required when we reach and when we explain the client. And without that also, we can't pose the interest, because in GL, we will pose the interest. We need to have a debit and credit knowledge. Why something is debited, why something has been credited. If you don't have academic knowledge, then definitely we will have a problem over there. We will face. So your customer, your client has a more knowledge of business process. So obviously, right, if I'm having a knowledge, then someone is explaining me who is having less knowledge, right? Then what is my motive? What I'll try to do is I'll try to pull their legs. Correct? If I know something, I'll consider that as easy for me. And someone is explaining about the same thing, then I'll try to pull their legs. So that's the reason we are going to fill that particular gap. Once we go to the client place, so what kind of academic knowledge we required, not only in financial accounting, we are going to cover our cost accounting and as well as a management accounting. We are going to cover. That's the reason I'm confidently, I'll say the people who completes our course, same thing, 6 months, after 5 months or 6 months, we are going to complete our FI part. So confidently, I'll say that you people are ready. If you haven't done enough practice, then you people are ready to hit the floor and you can work, you can challenge any activity, whatever role assigned to you. That is the confidence I'll give you that. At that particular, as I said that after 5.5 months, I'll take a few mock interviews. Then you will come to know in that mock interview itself that whether you are eligible to work or not. Definitely you will. And 100%, if you have enough practice, again, I'm telling you, enough practice, clear, then definitely you will get a confidence with that mock interviews. And again, I'm telling you, whatever mock interviews I'm going to conduct, whatever questions we are going to have there, out of that 80 to 85% questions you are going to get in your real-time interview, whatever may be the role. Again, I'm telling you, whatever may be the role you are applying. In that, 85% questions will come. They will ask you from that itself. An open challenge. And after cracking interview, also cracking interview is not a big deal. Again, I'm telling you, after cracking interviews, sustaining is the major challenge. But if you have enough practice, if you have enough knowledge, whatever the course 5-6 months, in the sense F5, again, I'm talking only F5 module, right? F5 module, if you are end to end perfect, whatever we do in this particular 5 to 6 months, definitely whatever work, either that could be implementation, support, or whatever testing or anything, but you can handle without any problem. 95% you can handle it. That is the assurance I can give you. Clear, everyone? Any questions? Sorry, it's not a GAN session, but still.
No, we need it, sir. We need it.
That's what. So that's the reason this particular course is designed such a way that that's the reason I initially I'll make everyone to understand our course is little lengthy when compared to outside. Our courses, it will take 9 months minimum, or 1 month here and there it will extend. Because I am planning to give the project also, this particular batch or previous batch also. One almost all which is related to a live project. See, live and whatever project we have, that would be the same. Clear? So we will have a project also, and we can do project work also. See, whatever in this particular 5 months, whatever scenarios we are going to take, that's almost all real-time scenarios only, and that is also considered as a project only. Okay, so don't rush to completion of things. As I said that it will take 5 to 6 months of F5. So we will finish of it, even though we are going slow in initial phase. Once you are well equipped, then definitely you will take forward. Clear? As again, I'm saying 9 to 10 months completion of controlling and integration and project. So don't feel that we are in lengthy. As I said, that 5th, 6th month you are ready to crack. You can join, right? But 9 months it is taking. If someone is saying that we can complete everything within 3 months or 4 months, it's too much lengthy. Again, according to me, I can't teach. Then I'm not the correct person to complete the things in 5 months or 6 months. I'm not the correct person. Clear? I know what are the things will be covered in that 5 to 6 months. What are the majority things will be missed. Okay. Yeah, again, today we don't have, see, tomorrow, again, as I said that our sessions are Monday to Friday, and Monday, again, we are going to meet at 6:45 Indian time. That is nothing but your Sunday evening. Clear? Any more questions before we?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, one and all.
All good.
We'll catch you on Monday.
Yeah.
Monday and your Sunday.
Yep.
Thank you.
Naveen?
Yes.
Hitesh this side, Naveen.
Yeah, Hitesh, please. Yeah, I said I'll take a session tomorrow for you people.
That's what I want to know. Like, is there any time slot that you can give
The
me?
same
So that
time slot we will take, Hitesh.
6:45.
Exactly.
Okay, more like.
Yeah. If I extend any other time, in the sense that would be too late for you people, I believe.
Yeah, but Naveen, I have some schedule. So if it is like Saturday, like it has to be
Your
done on
Saturday, my Sunday, correct?
yeah, that is what I'm
Okay.
saying.
Is it okay, everyone, that Sunday Indian morning 6:45 to recap, refresh, and whatever things we missed? I'll post in the group actually. Okay. So okay, then 6:45 Sunday, Indian Sunday, and your Saturday evening.
Yeah, that would work for me.
Yeah, that I'll do that.
Sure, no problem. Thank you so much, Naveen.
Thank you all.
Have a great day, Naveen. Bye-bye.
Thank you, and I wish you the same.
Thank you.